Hey guys, Dan Alman back with another video. Today we're going to talk about a couple things. We have the crypto ball coming tonight, some potential changes there. It is actually the very last day of trading in the stock market before the inauguration for Trump. So that has some implications. We'll talk about the failed head and shoulders pattern that I posted on Twitter. And I'm going to talk about some short-term price action on XRP, what my thoughts are. So let's go. All right, very first thing. So we have the crypto ball tonight, 8 p.m. With Trump and a lot of pro-crypto people. So we'll see what happens there tonight, 8 p.m. Today is the last day the stock market is open before the inauguration. We have inauguration already coming up on Monday, and there will be no open stock market. So it's going to be very interesting. We could see some massive blasting off on Bitcoin, especially if he mentions literally anything related to cryptocurrency, Bitcoin, anything. So we'll see if Trump says anything like that. That'll be a huge opportunity, especially, because a lot of people can only invest in these assets when the stock market is open. And I feel like there's a little bit of more chance for, I don't know, manipulation when the stock market's open. But yeah, so that'll be really interesting. That's Monday. So we'll see what happens. It's Martin Luther King Day, so that's why the stock market is closed. Tuesday, we'll be back open, and we could see a massive God candle. We'll see what happens here. But I did post on Twitter on January 11th, I said, we have a head and shoulders pattern. However, the highest volume is not in the head, meaning it has a lower chance of playing out. I forgot to actually post the picture with the volume, but you can see here's where we were. This is exactly what we had, head and shoulders. But you can see the max volume was actually on the left shoulder and not on the head. You can see the volume down here. So usually when this happens, it means it has less chance of playing out. So if you don't know what a head and shoulders pattern is, you have a lower high, a higher high, and then a lower high. And then usually this would resolve to the downside, meaning it would dump. Clearly that did not happen. So you can see it instead of, I posted this on the 11th right here. Bitcoin was about 94,000. So if you got in there, you're up 11%. Congratulations. Now, was I 100% sure this was going to happen? No, of course not. But you basically, if you want to trade using any sort of patterns like this, basically you have a probability, right? You have more than a 50% chance of this breaking to the downside. However, when the volume failed, that means now it is not less than 50%, or sorry, more than 50% to go down. So, we had a little bit higher chance to go up than down, and it played out that way. So I think a lot of people are getting prepared for the upcoming administration. I think this right here was the very last shakeout out of the market. I did say that. I said, we have this big wick down, big wick back up. I said that was probably the last chance shakeout for everyone. So sorry if you sold here. Yeah, that's all I could say. XRP has been absolutely ripping as well. And I took profits for the first time in my life. Basically, I had some short-term trades here and there, of course, but for my spot holdings, I have not sold or taken profits since all the way back in 2017. So I purchased some XRP for like $1.80 back in 2018. I purchased a lot of XRP last year at about 50 cents. So I purchased a lot of XRP at 50 cents, and I was up a good, I don't even know, 500%. So I did take some profits. And again, I talked about it last time. So what I personally use to make this decision is this. I have it into the Cryptoverse subscription. I've talked about it before, but I basically saw this risk point of, 85% risk up to 90% risk in the $3 to $3.30, $3.60 range, right? So the other thing is that the all-time high was $3.28 all the way back in 2017, right? So I had assumed that we'd probably get just above the all-time high, and then we'd have some sort of a correction. It ended up playing out just like I thought. I sold a big chunk around 330. Okay, so I sold a big chunk at 330. And if I go back to the hourly, you can see we're kind of losing volume heavily. We've had such a big move. Massive moves like this are not sustainable for a really long time. And if you actually look at something interesting here, if you go down here, you can see the amount of time you spend in these risk bands. So we're in the 80 to 90% risk band right now. you only spend 1.9% of the time, the total time in the market in that range. So you can see it only gets really red here. These are the, graphically, this is how it looks visually, right? So you can see when we get really red like this, we're not even to the dark red yet. We're only in the light red. It does not stay up here for very long. So what I like to do is I like to take profits when we're up here. If this pulls back down to about $3, I'll grab a tiny bit more back, or even, if it goes down even further. But I am taking some permanent profits now. It depends on what kind of situation you're in. I like to lock in some profits. You can leave them in stable coins if you want to re-enter the market. But I am buying a new house this year, so I'll be taking some profits off, moving it to my bank. I got to get appliances. I got to get, a new refrigerator and a really expensive oven and, blah, 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 blah. So I'm trying to pack away some money for that. So I took my first amount of profits. I took a couple grand of profits. I have a couple thousand XRP. So I took some here, and just because that risk metric is really high. If you look at any other coin right now, the risk metric is not high, okay? So if I just hit back and go to this screen here, Bitcoin's only at a 0.6 risk, ADA 0.6, DOT 0.3, Link 0.6, Solana is a little bit higher risk. So the next thing I'll be taking profits on is Solana, right? XLM at almost a 0.7, so that's 70%. Again, I like to wait till about 85% risk, start to take a small amount of profits. When I get to 90% risk, take a little bit more. When I get to 95% risk, take a big chunk, and then leave the rest for the 100% risk, okay? So for XRP, if you're wondering what that is, since you might have clicked on the video for that, $5, right? So I do not expect the price to go much above $5, if at all. I'll probably put a sell order for about $4.90. Again, and if you're looking, I will not be selling all of my Bitcoin. I will be selling all of my altcoins. I've said this multiple times. Bitcoin will not see as big of a correction as altcoins will. It happens every time. Bitcoin's going to go down. I don't know. What do I think? 60%, roughly. We'll see. 70%, right? But altcoins, a lot of them go down 99%. So there's really no point to hold them. So I will sell a little bit of my Bitcoin at 200K, and I will keep a big chunk. I am going to start saving in Bitcoin for a while now. I'm going to save at least a half a Bitcoin, me personally, and I'll hold it for a while. I have more than a half a Bitcoin right now, so I'll take a small amount of profits on these. But yeah, the profit taken has taken. I don't think we're anywhere near the top. So when I say I'm taking profits, I sold 10% of my XRP. Maybe 20%, because this one has ran up quite hard, right? I have not taken profits on anything else. The next one I will take profits on is Solana. I will take a very tiny bit of profits from my Solana at the all-time high, at the last all-time high of 264. I'll take a very small amount of profits, but I'm expecting Solana to get up to, I don't know. Let's check my cheat sheet from Mr. Cohen here. What does he say that Solana is going to go to here? He's thinking $800. So I'll probably, again, I'll take some profit at 500. I'll take some at, 600, 700, and then I'll try to get some out at 800. Now, if we get a strategic reserve, like some people have said for Solana, I think that might push the price much higher. But we'll kind of see what happens here. I'm pretty excited just to have some profits in the bag. What else we got going on? So I have done some trading as well on BitUnix. If you want to sign up for BitUnix, definitely use the link below. It gives you a huge discount on fees from using my link. I have a lot of trades open right now. I'm up 180% on Bitcoin, 30% on ADA, DOT still lagging down. XRP, I'm up 100%. I took some profits off here. Same point at $3.30. I closed some of my order. ENS, I'm about even. SUI, we're up. ETH, we're up. FAT, we're up. And Solana, I'm up almost 100%. And I just opened to AIXBT. It's one of the AI agents. It's seen a lot of price action and it pulled back pretty hard. So I put an entry into that one. Yeah, so I buy a lot of spot on here. I do a lot of futures trading on here. So I'm a huge fan of BitUnix. I do most of my trading on Coinbase and BitUnix. Those are my two favorite exchanges right now. I do a little bit on crypto.com and a little bit on Kraken. I do a little bit on Kraken as well. So I have a couple exchanges I like to mess around with. But yeah, that's pretty much all I want to talk about today. I told you guys I would update you if I ever took profits, and I took my very first profits. I'm pretty excited about it. You know, I'm in here to make money. Among other things, you know, I'm a huge believer on Bitcoin. I think it also is one of those great ways that you can kind of just bet against the government and decentralization. You know, I'm not a full-on Bitcoin maxi. I'm more like a Bitcoin mostly. My biggest holding is Bitcoin, and I intend it to stay that way because I've been in a couple different crypto cycles, and the path with the least amount of pain is holding the most amount of Bitcoin. I'll just say it that way, right? If we go look at, you know, what you got going on here. So, you know, last cycle, Bitcoin corrected 77%. The time before that, it corrected, you know, 82%. But if you look at like Ethereum even, you know, this one corrected 82%. So it's an additional, you know, 10%, right? But if you look at stuff like Solana, I mean, it corrected 96%. So you lost basically all of your money if you got in at the top and sold at the bottom. You lost everything, basically, right? If you look at stuff like Litecoin was down, you know, 89%. So Bitcoin holds up a lot better. And there's a lot more money in Bitcoin. So, you know, it doesn't have as much upside, but it also doesn't have as much downside. And over time, you know, eventually I do believe that we're just going to break this line and continue going up. You can see right now, we have this linear line that we've been respecting. But if we go to the logarithmic, you can see I'm expecting to hit about 200, 218 and pull back to about 68,000. So that's my estimate. We'll see what happens here. But we could, you know, we have this diminishing returns. It doesn't always have to stay this way, right? So if this gets full on adoption, it's called an S-curve, right? So it turns into an adoption S-curve, and maybe we never even come back to 68,000. You know, we'll see. We've never gone below the price at election day, which was 68,500. That's why I have that important target there, even though it doesn't line up with this, because that's an important fact, right? It's never gone down that low again, and I don't think it will. But anyways, that's gonna be it for the video. Hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, hit the like, hit the subscribe button, especially if you want to see when I'm selling. I do talk on Twitter usually every time I buy or sell anything. I usually put it on there, so feel free to follow me on Twitter. I do try to do that. So I've been trying to post these. Let me go to the most recent one, but I've been trying to post this, basically saying what I'm selling, what I'm buying. So on the 15th, I said I sold some XRP and I bought some Bitcoin. That's what I did. I try to post this every day, what I sell, what I buy, what my total portfolio worth is. I'm about 130 grand in. We're at about 260, so we're a nice little double from where we started. My target is 550. I think I might beat that target. We'll see. I don't know. We'll see. That's it for the video. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Have a great day, everyone. See you guys.